So I wanted to see what all the fuss was about with this Maybelline tattoo brow. So being a cosmetic tattooist, permanent makeup artist for 21 years, I thought I need to redo my eyebrows at the moment. So let's see how it goes. I'll do it today and then I'll give you updates on how it goes each day. But first of all, I'm going to map out my brows. Now, this is how you do it so that they're even. If you're a little bit younger, if you're not one of the oldies like me, you can get away with pretty much doing it perfectly. But as you can see, because I'm older, no two sides of the face are same anyway, but mine are quite even, so I'm going to tweak them. But this is how you do it. So first of all, you're going to find the corner of your eye. That's from this little dimple in your nose, up past here, and up to the start. The same on the other side. Much easier doing it on a client, I think, and up here. Now I know one of my problems with this brow that needs re-tattooing is it needs to go up a little bit higher than that. Now with your arch is from the corner of the nose up past the iris, and it often falls in line with the corner of this eye. So we're going straight up and up. Now I have a scar here, so you'll see it throws my whole brow out of whack, just so you know. So this side, from the corner of the nose up past the iris, we've got the corner of the eye and it's there. If I was tattooing my clients, obviously I'm remeasuring. But for the purpose of this, this is how you can map out your own brows to do this. This is how we do it in the salon, with a little more accuracy, I might add. So, this one's from the corner of the nose to the corner of the eye and out. We make sure that the bottom is never lower than the front. So the bottom, the tail, is never lower than the front. Okie dokie. So what I'm going to do now is something that I do in the salon. It's called reverse mapping. I'm going to join those dots basically, trying to keep my brows even at all times. So I've got the corner, I come up. Underneath, your arch is the highest point of your brow. Underneath is actually in this bit here. So after the arch, before the tail, in the middle. That is the highest point. And then I just shade it out. When I come back over to this side, now you don't have to do this. This is just how, and not all artists do this. This is just how I do it. You'll hear a brow artist talking about mapping. We're always trying to find the pattern that suits us best, or the mapping technique that suits us best. This is how I find it, because I mainly tattoo mature skin ladies and their brows are never even. So I can't just do the stencils or anything like that. So this one, I know, it's actually keeping it quite simple. So what you do is you've got your little line and you're just going straight up. So straight up, you can actually dip in the front a little bit. Makes them look a little bit more curved. And then at the end, if I was to run this down in here, I've got a dimple, I've got a dent there. So if I get my brush, that's my tail. And then I can do it again on the side from the point. That's my tail. Now, disclaimer, I've got really bad vision. So I've actually got contacts in there at the moment, but this is just so that you can see how us tattooists actually map out brows to be perfect. So I've got my start here. Most people don't actually want that quite harsh at the front. So see how my nose comes up into my brow bone area. It's the orbital bone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shape into it. And the same on the other side. See, it comes up here. Okie dokie. From there, let's have a look at this. We've got this brow tattoo. And it comes, I just got it on amazon.com.au. I got the dark brown. My hair's quite dark. I've got some greys in there. It's got a beautiful little brush one end that makes a line. And then the other brush, you can actually pop it in and it softens it off a little bit, which is quite nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my underline here more harsh. It's quite creamy. It doesn't feel really thick. It's quite dark though. I'm assuming though that as time passes over the days that it will become a little bit not so creamy, not so thick, not so dark. So first of all, instead of going over everywhere where I've got hair, this is the same with tattooing, I find. If someone's got hair in an area, I don't do as much tattooing there. Where they've got less hair, we do less. And it actually makes it blend a lot more that's more so for a natural brow. Actually need that arch over there, that's better. Now this one, I know has a dint at the top. And then my tail. I don't like it to be too harsh. I don't like it to be a sharp point at the end. It'll fade out a little bit. And then if I spin that little brush around, I can just get a different shape in there. And the same with this side. This side, like I said, because I've got a scar, it's quite it's my brow that gives me a lot of trouble. And that's why I put off tattooing it, because I really, really struggle with it. I do it myself, but I could probably go elsewhere and get it done. I was actually booked in to go and get it done during COVID, but the day that I had the appointment for was the day that we went back to work. So I didn't end up doing that. So at this stage, you can still see that this one's a little bit thinner than the other one. Better to do things slowly than too quickly. And you can see this arch of this one's a little bit thinner. Something's not right there at the front. So you just do it slowly. Now, this stuff is meant to, it's meant to tint the skin, and it's meant to stay for, I don't know how long, because you can't read the instructions on the box. So we are going to see, just having a little look to see the distance from there to there. This brow, just because of that scar, just needs lifting up a little bit. Sorry, had an emergency, had a cake burning in the oven. Okay, so just more with that one a little bit. And you never want your front coming down too low. So this is the bottom, this is the top. So sorry, you never want your top coming down lower. You want the bottom to be longer and the top sits back a little bit. On that angle, all complementary to here. It's all on the orbital bone, so it's not up too high. It's opening up out here. The tail's not lower than the front. And then you can fill in a little bit more. I would imagine the more you put, the more saturated it is, whoops, the longer it lasts on the skin. And then it's actually a really good way, that's why I thought I'd try it. It's a good way to see how you like looking with the bolder, you know, more so than even a tint. Because if you're enjoying it, then you can move forward with the brow tattooing. If it's a good shape, I wouldn't recommend this, but if you love the shape, you could find a tattooist who would tattoo it to the shape. She might be reluctant to do that because very rarely will this be perfect, whereas if you get them done by a tattooist, it's going to be a perfect shape. So Just see this one of mine's a little bit higher here. Really, really hard to do something like this yourself. That's another reason you go to a tattooist. As I do things like this, I'm like, what am I doing? Okie dokie. So I'm going to see how it goes. I'll take a snap tomorrow morning. You can see with the eyebrow tattooing. It's a great way for you to trial having more permanent eyebrows. And then it could be a lead into eyebrow tattooing or permanent makeup. And you know what? You can find somebody who does that really naturally as well. So if you're petrified about ending up with grey slugs, go to somebody who does natural brows. I do really beautiful natural brows in Melbourne. There's people all over the world that does natural brows, but find them, follow them on their Instagram, make sure you like their style. So it's easy. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow with a photo. Okay, so I did tweak a little bit on this side to make it a little bit lower, soften that arch, and I took all the white out of it. Now I'm going to leave it. I haven't even read the instructions. Well, you can't read the instructions, so I'd have to go onto the internet to do it, but I'm thinking I need to leave it on for however long for it to dry and stain the skin. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to brush this up a little bit. So I think it's pretty dry now, but I'm just going to brush it up, and that might give me a little bit more of an ombre look instead of being, so it's not going to stay this like this, but instead of being a little bit more stark, it might just spread, make it look a little bit more like a perfect powder brow. Okay, so I really want this Brow Promenade by Maybelline to last for a long time. And I need to go out, and I look a little bit like Scary Mary at the moment, so I thought I would just try and, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of makeup on, just dabbing that on. And it's just going to soften the intensity a little bit, maybe a hat as well. Still makes them look pretty dark. We'll see how we go. So I remember what I always tell my clients if they want to disguise their brows: wear lipstick, wear a different color lipstick. And when people see you, they'll be a little bit distracted. They won't know if it's brows or lips or something looks a little bit different. Try that.